It's time. Time to pick every spread and every total for week 6 of the 2025 NFL season. Welcome, football fans, gridiron gamblers, and degenerates. It's Mitch here with my picks for the over-under and the spread of every game this week. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe to Money Mitch for weekly NFL picks just like this. Let me know in the comment section below your opinion on these games. Where do you agree and where do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. I always read the comments and I love to hear other opinions. I'm just trying to be right. Let's do it. We had a great week last week. We're trying to follow that up with a even better week in week 6. Let's go. Let's make some money, baby. Let's begin with Thursday Night Football. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. The Eagles are laying 7.5 on the road at the G-Men, and the total is now 40.5. There is a little bit of buzz about Saquon Barkley and his knee, so definitely watch for that. It could be a hindered Saquon on Thursday, and if I'm the Eagles, I'm not so sure I wouldn't just sit him. Like, honestly, Saquon has not been himself this year. The run game of the Eagles has been pedestrian. I kind of wonder if they should not give him a rest for a couple weeks and just let him get back to his full 100% self. Just throwing that out there. But if I had to bet on this game, which I might throw the Eagles in a teaser. I feel like the Eagles are a pretty good spot for a tease down to 1.5. A lot of people, I feel like, might be doing that, but it's a fair play. The Eagles are going to win this game. It's just a matter of how many points are they going to win this game by. There is a little bit of insecurity for me when it comes to betting on the Eagles right now because they're just not a very good offense. Point blank, period. They don't have a lot of explosiveness on the ground right now or through the air. They really are a dink and dunk offense, and Jalen Hurts holds the ball a long time, and he's playing a very good front seven. The Giants' defense has been pretty good this season overall. They've had some down performances, but last week, if you really dive into that Saints game, the Giants lost that game. They turned the ball over like 5 times. Jackson Dart was just dropping the ball and giving it to the other team. And that's the problem about backing the Giants here. Yes, they're at home. Yes, it's on primetime. Yes, it's an NFC East divisional rivalry game with the fan base probably pretty pumped to watch Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo, and the rookie core of this Giants team, which I feel like the G-Men fans are very excited about, right? Abdul Carter's had a good year. I think the Giants fans will bring it in this game, and there will be an atmosphere that you can feel on Thursday night. But the Eagles have kind of dominated this series. Nick Sirianni seemingly coaches his best against this Giants team in Brian Daboll. The Eagles, I do feel, have the offensive line to protect and give Hurts time. I think if that's the case, the Giants, they're going to get isolated on the outside, and Hurts might be able to strike downfield. This could be a big coming out party for A.J. Brown. Last week, he had to deal with Pat Surtain. There is not a Pat Surtain on the Giants. I like Paulson Adebo, but man, he's not the defensive player of the year caliber cornerback. I think A.J. Brown could have a big game. Devontae Smith did have a good game against Denver. That could continue. So I could actually see where the Eagles throw the ball and they get some vertical dimension into this offense. They maybe don't run the ball quite as much as expected, even if the Giants are pretty lackluster against the run. I kind of think that the Eagles are going to open this game up, and I think they're going to let it rip a little bit more. And I think we could see a little bit of a more explosive game from the Eagles offensively. They have a lot of questions to answer, and they might want to answer it on primetime. The Eagles are also one of those teams that's not very affected by a short week because their playbook is about 10 plays long on offense. Like, They run like 10 plays, guys. Everybody knows this. So it's not like they're super affected by that. Jackson Dart on the other side, he just hasn't proven to do much through the air, especially without Malik Neighbors. The Giants just don't have much at wide receiver. Darius Slayton's also injured. I just don't know how they throw the ball against the Eagles, and the Eagles don't have the best run defense, but I don't think they're going to get ran over by the Giants by any means. Jalen Carter did pop up on the injury report, something to watch, I guess, but I just think the Eagles defense suffocates this rookie. I still love the Eagles in the back end of their defense. Their linebackers are great in coverage. Their corners, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, they'll hold it down. I think Makuba's playing better at safety. I think the Eagles have a shining performance here, a bit of a bounce back. Their most convincing win of the season against probably the worst team they've played all season. So I think the Eagles win this game. I think the Eagles cover. I would also take the under. I think this is going to be like a 27-13, 27-10, 24-10 type of game. I think the Eagles defense dominates this game. I could be wrong, but I just don't see the weaponry. I don't see the explosiveness. I don't see the passing arsenal for the Giants. I don't see it at all. And I still believe this Eagles defense is damn good. So I will take the Eagles to win. I'll take the Eagles to cover. My preferred play would be the Eagles in a teaser because I'm very convinced they'll win. But if you wanted to lay 7.5, I don't think it's the worst bet of the week. I'll say that. I don't think it's the worst bet of the week. That's Thursday night. Let's get to the international game. We got the Denver Broncos at the New York Jets, technically, I guess. 43.5 is the total. 7.5 is the spread. Denver laying, again, the same number as the Eagles. Interesting. Denver just came off a win against Philadelphia, which I told you would happen. Denver was a best bet last week. A best bet. That's how you say it in English, Mitch. And they also were a straight-out winner. So, convincing win, statement win by Denver. I think this continues Denver's momentum. I think Denver wins. I think Denver covers. Typically, in these international games, the team with the better coaching, the team that is favored, the team with more talent dominates, wins, and covers. And I think this is no different. Denver's pass rush is vicious. They're elite. Nick Bonito right now might be the best pure pass rusher in the sport. And Justin Fields, we all know, holds the ball a tad too long. So does Jalen Hurts. Sacks galore in this game. If the Jets get down early, sacks are going to pile up in this game. Pat Surtain can cover Garrett Wilson. Mason Taylor's look decent, but that might be the only thing the Jets have going for them through the passing game in this one. I don't know how they complete passes, especially vertically down the field. They won't have the time, and I don't think they'll have the space against this secondary. So Fields, I think, will really struggle. Denver's going to go all out. They're going to take the Bills' game plan. They're going to stuff the box, pack the box, and the Jets won't be able to run the ball. I think this is a terrible matchup for the Jets' offense. I don't know if they're going to score 14 points. I honestly don't. On the other side, I feel like Denver is getting something going, a flow going here with Sean Payton's play calling. Bo Nix played well in the second half last week. He's been a bit up and down, but they have an excellent pass blocking offensive line. Their run game, J.K. Dobbins has looked good, and I do think Denver will be able to run the ball, which makes them a convincing favorite. Because if they are a very good defensive team in this game, which I believe they will, because they'll stop the run, they'll get after the quarterback, and they're able to run the ball to complement that, control the clock, Cortland Sutton will make some plays, as he always does. And the Jets have had some injuries at corner. They also are just not getting to the quarterback. They're just a bad defense right now. Like, I don't know what's going on with Aaron Glenn. He needs to take that play call sheet away from Steve Wilkes because it's not going well. So I think Bo Nix has time. I think they run the ball. And I think they're able to consistently move the ball in this game. So I think Denver, after last week's win, just piles it on to the Jets with a convincing big victory over a bad football team. The Jets are not getting their first win here. I'll take Denver to win. I'll take Denver to cover. I think this is a convincing game. Also, I didn't say the the under over. Because of Denver's defense, I think this game goes under 43.5. I don't know if I would bet it, but I might bet like Jets team total under. That's something to think about later in the week. Okay, so I'd take the under for the first two games. Next, 46 is the total for Patriots Saints. Pats are minus 3.5. We talked about this in early best bets. Patriots are still underrated. People want to believe in the Saints. People want to believe in that win. I thought it was not fluky necessarily that the Saints beat the Giants. I picked the Saints to win and they came through, but it was a great spot for the Saints, right? Second game against a rookie quarterback coming off his first ever win on the road at the Superdome. Now they're back in the Superdome once again. The Patriots coming off of a big win, emotional win against the whiteout Buffalo Bills, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, okay, cool. But I just don't see Mike Vrabel just allowing this team to feel comfortable and confident and like just be able to rest. Like I feel like I have enough faith in the leadership of this team to keep the foot on the gas. I think the Patriots win was more about opening the eyes of the public, opening the eyes of the NFL, more so than it was a fluke. I think the Patriots are legit. And I've said this throughout the season. Drake May is a top-notch quarterback right now. Mike Vrabel clearly has installed an identity within this team. Their defense is just getting started. And I think that is the reason I feel confident. The Patriots have a real defense. Christian Gonzalez back there is one of the best, if not the best corner in football when he's on the field. His biggest issue has been injuries. And when he's out there, it just allows them to do things in the back end of their defense that a lot of teams aren't able to do. They're better at man coverage than just about any team in football. I'd take their trio of corners over just about anybody between Gonzalez, Davis, and Marcus Jones. They have an elite interior duo. Nobody can run the ball on them, including the Bills, who I think maybe have the best run game in football. And Harold Landry's playing well. Like, I feel like the Patriots defense is getting up there for sure. And you complement that with an offense with Drake May, who he's operating inside structure, outside structure. He's got great chemistry now with Stephon Diggs, and it's only building. Hunter Henry. Their run game needs to start getting going a little bit. And on the road, that's going to be a point of emphasis. But I feel like Drake May is going to have consistent success throwing the ball here, because the Saints are a very soft coverage team. They don't play a ton of man. They don't play a ton of tight coverage. They play a lot of zone, and they play a lot of too high. And there might not be a lot of explosives down the field, but with this receiving core, right, Buffalo had the right game plan. They played a lot of man. They blitzed. They tried to get physical with the Patriots receivers, and it was really only Diggs that was making them pay. The game plan was right. It was just that Drake May was so good in the game that he made them pay when they blitzed because he was rolling out to the right and making magical plays, right? The Saints can't replicate that style, in my opinion. They can't cover the way the Bills can. I don't think they have the scheme, right? And they don't have the pass rush. So I think Drake will have a very good completion percentage. I think he's going to throw a lot of passes in this game. And I think they're going to dink and dunk their way and control this ball down the field. And I think on the other side, the Patriots are going to get pressure on Spencer Rattler. I think they have the secondary to contain Olave and Shaheed. And they have the run defense that should make the Saints one-dimensional. So I actually think, as much as this looks like a bit of a spot where the Saints can maybe like shock the world and make this tight and competitive and close, I think the Patriots just continue to build on what they did against Buffalo. And I think they win this game convincingly. I don't feel like maybe they start slow, but once they get rolling here, I think they'll win by 10 plus. So I like the Patriots. 46 is a high number for this game, just because I think the Patriots defense is a good defense. And I don't know how many points the Saints are going to score. Like, I honestly don't think they score more than 20 points. So if I'm thinking the Patriots will score 27 to 30 within that range, right? I don't think the Saints can score 20 points. I'm not against this defense. Maybe 17. I could see like 27-17, 28-17. Maybe the Patriots are able to blow them out and it's like 31-17, but I would probably stay away from the total. But just because of my confidence that I see in this Patriots defense and how well they played against Buffalo, I'm going to have to take the under. So I'll take New England minus 3.5. It's probably going to be a best bet. And I will take the under 46. Although that one is a little shaky. I'm not sure about that one. Next, we have the 38.5 total between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is favored by 5.5. You guys know I like Cleveland with the points. I think that's too many points against Cleveland in a divisional game with the familiarity. And Cleveland's defense is awesome. And I know that Cleveland has to travel, right? They don't have a bye week. Pittsburgh had a bye week. They're rested. Cleveland's coming from London. I like the under. I think that would be the best bet in this game. But 5.5 is still a lot of points. Like, Cleveland's defensive line, Pittsburgh's not going to have that balance that they had against the Vikings. I don't see Pittsburgh running the ball on Cleveland. And then if it is drop back pass, I don't think Pittsburgh can block Cleveland. And I know that Cleveland can cover Pittsburgh. So with Rodgers back there, there's going to be heat on Rodgers. Schwartz is going to know what to do against Rodgers because he's played him many times dating back to his days as Detroit's head coach. Denzel Ward can take care of DK Metcalf. I think Cleveland's defense keeps them in the game. I also think Pittsburgh's defense shows up here. It's in Pittsburgh against a rookie quarterback. Typically, Mike Tomlin's been very good against rookies. And I'm not sure Cleveland with Gabriel at quarterback has much of a downfield passing attack. Maybe they can dink and dunk their way to success, run the ball with Judkins against a sort of still Swiss cheese run defense of the Steelers. Tight ends have also been effective against the Steelers this season, so look for Njoku or Fannin to have some success. But I think Cleveland right now is very much a team that needs to go on long drives. They're not really creating much explosives. So I think this is a classic AFC North black and blue defensive battle. TJ Watt, that pass rush of the Steelers at home, will probably create a turnover or two against the rookie. I think this is an under game. I think Cleveland hangs in it. I think Cleveland covers. Pittsburgh probably wins. That's probably the best way to play this game. Next, the Rams, minus 7.5, total 45 at Baltimore. Give me the Rams to win, Rams to cover. This might be a best bet. I love the Rams in a teaser. I think they win this game 100%. Total is 45. Let me think about that. I feel like Baltimore, could it be Snoop Huntley in this game? Or will it be Cooper Rush? It won't be Lamar Jackson. The offensive line of the Ravens, I think, has been low-key terrible. And I think the Rams take advantage of that with their pass rush. You know the Rams defense is going to be pretty pissed off after how they played against Mac Jones in a beat-up Niner offense. I don't think the Ravens can replicate that. I don't think the Ravens will be able to run the ball all that well with Derrick Henry. The Rams' run defense all year has been good, right? They haven't really allowed a running back to have a big day against them yet this season, and they played some pretty legitimate players like Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, etc. Their weakness is on the back end, and I don't think Cooper Rush or Snoop Huntley are taking advantage of their weaknesses. I don't think so. And I don't think they have the scheme to do it either. And I don't think this is Kyle Shanahan coming to town. So I think the Rams defense gets back on track. They play with more fire, more energy, and I just feel like they play more aggressive in this game, and they get after the quarterback. On the other side, I think Stafford's going to do whatever he wants. I think he'll have all day to throw. They just traded their edge rusher who has the most pressures on their team away. He's gone to the Chargers. Their secondary's depleted and injured. We don't know what's going on with all the injuries like Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey and Roquan Smith. It's kind of too early to know, but some of these guys will be out. Some of them might be back, but I don't think it really matters. They've struggled all season, and the Rams have an elite offense. They can run the ball as long as they don't fumble it. They can throw the ball. Puka is uncoverable. Devontae Adams is playing well, and they're getting better every week together, it feels like. And Stafford is just playing as good as any quarterback in the league. So I think Sean McVay is angry. Stafford's angry. This defense is angry. I think the Rams crush the Ravens. I think they obliterate them. So I will take the Rams. I'll take the over just because, man. I'll take the over just because I don't know if the Ravens defense can make a stop. And I feel like the Rams are more susceptible on defense. Like, you can definitely like move the ball a little bit against them compared to the Texans. You know what I'm saying? So if the Rams can replicate what the Texans did offensively, and the Ravens can have a little bit more success against the Rams than they did the Texans, which feels fair, it should go over 45. But I'm thinking blowout. Like, I'm thinking like 38-17. Something like that. 34-17. Like, it's going to be bad. So Rams win, Rams cover, over 45. Next, give me the Chargers to win and cover. I'm not as convinced as I was on Monday, but I still like it. And the main reason I like it is the Chargers' defensive scheme against Tua. I like the idea of their coverages suffocating the middle of the field and forcing Tua to make awkward throws that he doesn't want to make. And I think Minter is going to do a really good job against Mike McDonald of taking away the first read and making Tua hold the ball for that extra beat and find his next option. And I think that the Chargers can do a really good job of rallying to the ball, taking away yards after catch. And I do think the Chargers are going to be much better against the run in this game than they were against the Commanders. Commanders' run game is excellent. Miami's is inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Devon Achane has really struggled to run the ball all year, to be honest. He might have had a decent game against Buffalo, but that was about it. And Owe coming to this lineup should help them set the edge in certain situations. I really like the Chargers defense in this game. I don't love that it's an early start in Miami, and I don't love the offensive line of the Chargers, but here's the thing. The Dolphins have a putrid secondary. Their pass rush is one of the worst in football right now. And if there is a game for Herbert and this offensive line to get it together, it should be this game. It should be. No Hampton. I think that means they lean on Herbert to throw more with more volume, maybe more short passes, which might be smart. Get the ball out quick. Keep yourself ahead of the chains. Throwing that out there. I think the over 43.5, that seems like a low number in this game. And I'll take the Chargers to win and cover. Something like 27-17. Around there. I think they win and cover. And I think the defense makes some big plays. Like, I could see like a pick six here. Or like a couple interceptions on Tua. I think the Chargers defense has a statement game. But I still believe McDaniel will be able to move the ball enough for this game to go over. But I believe the Dolphins just don't have the personnel defensively, in my opinion, to be able to take advantage of the Chargers' depleted offensive line. And I'm just putting faith in the Chargers to be able to figure this thing out a little bit more than they have. Next. 47.5 is the total between Jacksonville and Seattle. Jacksonville -1. Now, this is very dependent, in my opinion, on who plays for these teams on defense. Trayvon Walker didn't play on Monday night. I think he should play this week. He's their best player on Jacksonville's defense. And then for Seattle, they didn't have Julian Love. They didn't have Witherspoon. They didn't have DeMarcus Lawrence. So the total's really difficult for me to say on a Wednesday, to be honest with you. In my mind, the defenses are the strengths of these teams when they're healthy, but I don't know who's playing. So it's really tough. So right now I'll say under, but I don't really have any sort of precision with that pick. Jacksonville -1. I actually like Seattle. I think Seattle's going to win this game. It's a little bit of a gut feeling, a little bit of a gut pick, but I kind of feel like if Seattle can get a couple pieces back in the secondary, I think they're going to make Trevor Lawrence antsy in this game. I think they'll be able to shut down the run of Jacksonville, which is first and foremost. They're a good run defense. They have a very strong interior line, and I think they're going to get some push to get to Trevor Lawrence, okay? I also think that the defense of Jacksonville is a little bit more susceptible than people believe. We saw that against Kansas City. We saw it in moments against the Niners. It's just the turnovers that really hurt the Niners and some special team stuff. I think Seattle, they run almost the exact same offense as the Niners. And Sam Darnold has been slinging the rock. JSN has been uncoverable. I don't expect that to change. They're getting everyone involved. They're running the ball well. They ran the ball well against Tampa, which is really difficult to do. Kenneth Walker looks outstanding. They're getting Barner involved, Horton involved, Kupp every once in a while, right? Darnold's just playing fantastic, and the O-line's playing better than I think. I think they're going to have balance in this game. I think they're going to be able to hit their shots downfield against this secondary where you can take advantage of them down the field every once in a while. We saw that on Monday night. And I think there's starting to be a little bit more like evidence where you can go with the ball against Jacksonville. Like, I think you could see that the last couple weeks. And then on the other side, like I said, I feel like we need to see these injuries for Seattle, but they're bound to beat a good team, right? And Jacksonville coming off a huge win against Kansas City on a short week, even if it's at home, I think they kind of come in with a little bit lackadaisical. I think they come in a little bit head swollen from the win. Trevor Lawrence, he hasn't been really good all year. He was really good in the fourth quarter, but outside of that, he's been too inconsistent. I'll take Sam Darnold and the Seahawks to win this one. Mike McDonald will have a plan for Trevor Lawrence. So I'll take Seattle to win this game, and I'll take the under for now. Next, 41.5 is the total between Tennessee and the Raiders, and 4.5 is the spread. Tennessee's really bad. They're really bad. The only reason they won that game against Arizona is because Arizona handed it to them. They literally handed it to them. Do the Raiders have what it takes to cover 4.5 is the question. They look terrible. Putrid. Like, absolutely disgusting. Now, the Raiders are back home. They desperately need this game. I'm going to trust the Raiders win this game. They bounce back. I'll put my faith in Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, Max Crosby, the leadership of this Raiders team. They need this game like they need air. So I'll take the Raiders to win, the Raiders to cover. I think they win by like a touchdown. It's not going to be pretty. 24-17, something to that degree, right around the total. I would lean under just because, like, both of these offenses are a mess. Like, Cam Ward, sure, he can throw the ball deep, but he's not getting a lot of time. I don't think the Titans will be able to run the ball all that well against the Raiders. The Raiders are a decent run defense. They just have problems in the secondary. Maybe Cam Ward's able to air it out, but I don't know if he has the time in this game to do it on the road at the Raiders. I think Max Crosby has something to say about that. On the other side, Geno has no time to throw, and they don't have a run game. It's very inconsistent. Brock Bowers will probably still be out of this game, so they can't take advantage of that matchup. I'm going to lean under here, but I will take the Raiders to win, Raiders to cover like 24-17. I see it in that range. So I wouldn't bet this game, though, unless you're an absolute degenerate. Next, the Cowboys and the Panthers. Dallas -3. Total is 49.5. I'm going to go with Dallas to win and Dallas to cover. I like this one a good amount. I think that Carolina, in order to have success, needs to run the ball. A lot like my analysis last week with the Jets. When Dallas plays teams that their bread and butter is running the ball, they have a good chance to win the game because that's where their defense is actually competent. When they play teams that can't throw the ball downfield or don't have precision in the pass game, their defense will be fine. And I believe that to be the case against Carolina because Bryce Young is one of the worst deep ball passers in football, and he's shaky in the pocket. And if they can just slow down Rico Dowdle enough, they'll be okay on defense. And on the other side, Dak is ripping up everybody. Like, they're an absolute juggernaut on offense right now. It doesn't matter who's playing on the offensive line, who's playing at wide receiver. They're going to put up some points. I think Ferguson probably has a huge game in this one. Javonte is just running over everybody. Pickens is making big plays. I just trust Dak to go to Carolina Carolina does play much better at home so far, but they've played Miami and Atlanta. I think Dallas is a huge step up in quarterback, huge step up in offense. I like what I've seen from Dallas the last couple weeks. They're improving defensively. I think they get enough pressure on Bryce. I think they slow down the run. I think Dallas wins this game. Dallas covers. In terms of the total, I want to lean over just because of how well Dallas is scoring and how many points they're putting up on a weekly basis. It feels like they get to 30 every week. And I still don't trust Dallas's defense. Like, even though they dominated the first half against the Jets, they let up a lot of points in the second half, which led to an over. So I could see that happening. Carolina's been a good backdoor, good garbage time team. So I'll take the over 49.5. I'll take Dallas to win and cover. Next, 47 is the total. Indy -7. I feel like I'm alone on this one on an island. I like the Cardinals +7. I just think this is too many points. The Cardinals are being maybe a little bit underrated or maybe at the bottom of their market just because, like, they lost to the Titans, and it was in embarrassing fashion. But I think Kyler keeps this game competitive. I think the Colts are able to move the ball and score, so I like the over because I think that their balance is really difficult. The Cardinals like to kind of funnel you into throwing a lot of short passes. I think Daniel Jones is perfectly fine taking the dump offs and taking the checkdowns, and I think he'll be able to do that. But at the same time, I think Kyler can move the ball against the Colts secondary. I think that they will be able to he'll be able to create. He'll be able to find Trey McBride. I think this secondary is a bit leaky. I think he'll make some plays outside structure. I think this is an over 47, which might be the best play in this game. But I also think I like the Cardinals to stay within a touchdown. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit too late on this Colts team. I'm not sure. I just feel like the Cardinals are going to stay around here. I think they're much better than the Raiders. They're much better than the Dolphins. They're just a much better team than the teams that the Colts have blown out. You know what I'm saying? I still believe the Cardinals are much better than those teams. Better quarterback, better defense. I still believe the Cardinals are, and especially after a game where they let it slip, after a game where they embarrassed themselves, after a game where they lost it. You know, the Titans didn't win it, they lost it. So I like the over, and I like the Cardinals +7. Niners at Tampa Bay. I don't know who's playing for the Niners, and I don't know who's playing for the Bucs. So this is a game that's really impossible to pick on a Wednesday, but I'll take the Niners +3, and I think they win the game. Let's put it this way. If Jawan Jennings plays, I don't think Ricky Pearsall will play. If Jawan Jennings plays, and if Alfred Collins plays on defense, let's just throw those two things out there. I think that the Niners win. I still feel like the Bucs will be without Mike Evans, Bucky Irving, probably some players in the secondary. I just like Kyle Shanahan against Todd Bowles with 10 days to prepare. I've seen Kyle Shanahan just dice up this defense. And I think Mac Jones is playing well. And I think he'll be quick, decisive with the ball against the blitz of the Todd Bowles Bucs. And I think the Niners, I'm a little worried about their pass rush against Baker Mayfield. I am. But I trust this secondary and how they match up with the Bucs receivers. I don't think Godwin is quite the same guy. It's really just Emeka Egbuka. And the offense for the Bucs is pretty damn good. I'll take the over 47.5. But I think the Niners squeak this one out. I think on the back of Kyle Shanahan, they win this game. I need to see the injury report. But Robert Saleh's going to have some adjustments too after 10 days. It's like a mini bye. He's going to have some adjustments to how to get pressure against the Bucs and how to make Baker, just a little antsy in those big moments. But Baker's been outstanding. I don't want to make you bet this game because Baker's been phenomenal. He's been the MVP of the league. I just really believe in this Niners team, and I really think this is a coaching mismatch. So I think Kyle Shanahan is going to win this game. That's the reasoning. So I'll take the Niners, and I'll take the over 47.5. Next, 44.5 is the total between Packers and Bengals. Packers -14. Give me the under 44.5. I hold on that one. And give me Packers to win and cover. I think the Packers are going to destroy the Bengals. I think this is going to be like an absolute travesty of NFL football. I think that the Packers D-line at home is going to crucify Joe Flacco. He's going to get sawed in half. Like, I actually feel bad for Joe Flacco in this game. Like, now the question is, how many points do the Packers score against this Bengals defense? I might have to take the over just because they might score 34 points. Like, they're off a bye. Christian Watson might play. Probably not, but he might. I think Golden has a big breakout game. Tucker Kraft's a bit healthier. Their O-line, Zach Tom's healthier. Josh Jacobs is going to run all over the Bengals. It's going to be bad. Play action is going to be wide open against these linebackers. I got to take the over. I got to take the over just fundamentally. Matt LaFleur against this defense. The only thing that I'm scared about is that the Bengals just won't score any points. But maybe Joe Flacco finds a way to dink and dunk with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins against this secondary, which is a little bit iffy for the Packers, but I just feel like that pass rush is going to destroy them. So, Packers minus 14. I'll take the over, though, because Flacco's also, like, very, very, very much a guy that's going to throw a pick six or something like that. So, yeah. Next, 53 is the total for Lions and Chiefs. That is a lot of points. Chiefs, minus 2.5. I think you have to go with the over, despite the amount of points that are expected to be scored here. Because the Chiefs look really good on offense. The Lions are without their top two cornerbacks. They don't have a ridiculously good pass rush. So the Chiefs should be able to block them. And I think the Lions are going to move the ball on the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs' defense is not as good as years past. You can run the ball on them better than you can last year. And they just have, like, if you're going to play man-to-man, you're toast. If you play zone, you're toast. Lions will score 30 points. So it's a matter of the Chiefs, like, how many can they score? I like the Lions, though. I have the Lions rated as the best team in the league. Yeah, it's a tough spot. Chiefs are 2-3. They're at home. They're a short favorite at home. It's tough to fade Mahomes in that spot. But the Lions are just the better team. I don't know how the Chiefs get that many stops here. Chris Jones is going to have to get his head out of his ass, which he's not looked good the entire year. The Chiefs have good linebackers, but I don't think the back end of this defense is able to contain Jared Goff. McDuffie might be able to shadow Amon-Ra better than most players, but then you got to deal with Jameson Williams' speed. Sam Laporta is a problem, right? Like, Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. Maybe Spags finds a way to blitz Goff better than other teams. The Lions' offense is too good. I think they're going to be able to run the ball, most importantly, which keeps them out of those distances where Spags is able to go with all his exotic looks. And then on the other side, and Jared Goff's never lost to Patrick Mahomes, by the way. On the other side, I think the Lions still have a good defense. Like, even with their depleted cornerback position, like, the Chiefs receivers aren't amazing. Like, they're not Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? Worthy is not going to route up Amik Robertson the way that Jamar Chase did. And their safeties are awesome, and they could cause Mahomes an issue. And those linebackers are playing outstanding. And Anzalone can probably take Kelsey away. Aiden Hutchinson's still a problem. Like, I think the Lions are going to win this game. The Lions know how to beat the Chiefs. I love how the Lions play and how it inherently is a good style of play against the Chiefs. It's just like a matchup from the core level of football. I feel like the Lions are aggressive. The Lions are a balanced offense that also hit explosives. They're not afraid to go for it on fourth down. Defensively, they're aggressive. They're physical. They tackle, right? They don't let you get bullshit. Like, I feel like the Lions are a tough matchup for the Chiefs, even with their injuries. The Chiefs can't run the ball, which I feel like is a susceptibility to the Lions with some of their defensive line personnel right now. And I also know the Lions will have a good game plan for containing Mahomes because they did it against Lamar. So I feel like they'll have a good plan. So I like the Lions. They're the better team, period. Yeah, the Chiefs are desperate. I like the Lions. I'll go over, though, because I think the Lions will be putting up some points, and I think Mahomes is going to have to push the pace. So I'll go with the over 53. On Monday night, I like the Bills minus 4.5. I think this goes over as well. I don't quite trust the Bills' defense. I do think that the Falcons should be able to run the ball on the Bills. I mean, Bijan is outstanding. Drake London should be able to win some matchups in this game, as should Kyle Pitts. Penix, though, I think will make some mistakes. I think the Bills will be able to get him on some blitzes, some of their hybrid coverages. He'll make some mistakes. But I think Buffalo's going to be angry. I think Buffalo's going to be pissed off. I think the Bills could score 35 points, 38 points here. I think they can run the ball here. I don't think the Falcons will get much pressure on Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is going to make backyard play after backyard play after backyard play, and Falcons fans are just going to be like, what do we even do about this? So, yeah, I think that this will be an angry Bills team after what they did on Sunday night. The turnovers they had, the mistakes they made, the penalties, I think they'll come out fuming. So I think Josh Allen goes nuclear, and I think they win this game, they cover, and the game goes over. And then the final game is the Bears and the Commanders, 49.5, 4.5 is the spread. I'm going to go Washington to win, Chicago to cover, and I'll take the over 49.5. I don't like the Bears defense. Actually, 49.5, that might be the best bet in this game, over. Bears defense sucks. They're terrible. They don't have a pass rush. They can't stop the run. Good luck affecting Jaden Daniels. My voice is running out. And good luck stopping the run of the Commanders, who can run it on almost every team I've seen. And they're a really complex, really difficult run game to stop. Terry McLaurin could be back. Even if he isn't, I'm not that worried. I feel like the Commanders' offense, they'll find a way to move the ball. And then, the other side, it's a matchup between Cliff and Ben Johnson. It's an over, 100%. Cliff and Ben Johnson are two of the top 5 offensive play callers in the league right now. And Ben had a bye to prepare for the Commanders, a team that plays a ton of man coverage against a pretty good receiving core. Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, right? Zacchaeus, Burden, Loveland, Komet. Maybe Loveland gets activated more. Caleb can make plays with his legs. I feel like you're going to get the best of Caleb here because he's playing Jaden Daniels. I like the over. I like the over 49.5. And I like the Commanders to win, but Bears to cover. I think this will be a last-second field goal, a last-second touchdown, something like 31-27. Something like that. Those are my picks for week number 6. If you enjoyed, Gronk spike the like button. If you disagreed with some of my picks, let me know in the comments. Don't be a jabroni. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.